What's up, guys? So, I guess most of you've heard that Roe versus Wade was overthrown today, as it was expected to a few months ago when the uh, decision was leaked to the public, which isn't surprising because when Roe versus Wade was first decided, it was about 40 plus years ago. That decision was leaked as well, so I guess it's perfectly balanced in that respect. So a lot of people are freaking out. Homeland Security is predicting there's going to be a lot of potential violence, particularly on government figures, especially judges. So we'll see. I hope not, but if so, c'est la vie. But it's a lot of nuance here and a lot of disingenuous arguments. So, on the one hand, Roe versus Wade already was not already. I should better say always on shaky legal ground in the first place, regardless of where you fell on your support of abortion, pro or against. But it was always on shaky ground legally speaking. But because it was a part of legal precedent for so many decades, it has seemed more or less untouchable. But as the Supreme Court got stacked with conservative justices whom lied saying they believe in legal precedent, it became more apparent that they had the judicial power to overturn Roe versus Wade, which was something that conservatives were leaning towards this whole time, and they got their wish fulfilled. Okay, so enough about the legal precedent and the fact that Roe versus Wade was on shaky legal grounding in the first place, which I'm all for. If it's on shaky legal ground, then by all means, yeah, overturn it. My problem is that both sides are being disingenuous. So, yes, it was on shaky legal ground, but regardless of that, conservatives wanted to get rid of it anyway just because they were against abortion, whether they thought it went against their religious beliefs or they just thought it was murder or they just wanted to stick it to liberals, whatever. They wanted to get rid of it, regardless of whether it was a legally justified decision or not. Whereas people on the left didn't care whether it was on shaky legal ground or not either. They just wanted to have abortion in place on the federal level to protect women's rights to opt into it. And again, like I said, that's a bit dubious as well, because if you put something on a weak foundation, then it's apt to be knocked down, which is what happened, unfortunately. Now, people are freaking out with some justification, but mostly not, because now they think, oh, now abortion is going to be illegal across the board, which is not. Now it reverts back to the states. It's going to be a state by state decision. And what will happen is if you live in one of those red states where they've already had trigger bans that within 30 days or so of the decision being overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court, then abortion will be made illegal in those respective states. Then you're going to be screwed unless you basically take a bus or a train to a blue state where it is legal, as it is here in Maryland, where we still have late term abortion. A lot of states don't have late term abortion anymore. We do. But a lot of liberals have argued quite well that It's probably not going to stop with Roe versus Wade. That folks on the right will probably try to go after it state by state to get it knocked out, or implement a federal law that will basically supersede state laws. That could happen, but beyond that, it turns into poison the well type of arguments where um, I'm sorry, not poison the well arguments, slippery slope arguments where it could be like, well, now that this is going to happen, X is going to happen, Y is going to happen, Z is going to happen, and so on. I don't know. We'll have to see. And just telling people to vote is not the answer. I'm so tired of people saying, especially on the left, is voting doesn't do much. If people haven't realized that already, if you really want to get things going, attend your local council meetings, whether city or county. Those are where the biggest decisions are made for your life locally in those city and county council meetings. Run for a small office. And if you have money, support the folks that are doing the stuff that you want, or support the the different lobby organizations and specialists that are doing stuff that you're in favor of. The right certainly knows to do this, and certain folks on the left do as well. But I'm talking about the average person. The average person may not have the money to throw around, but they can get involved locally in government through their council meetings, uh, stuff like that, even up to the state level. They can run for small offices and affect change that way. Voting is the least politically active thing you can do. Okay. Now, the last thing I just want to say, because I didn't mean for this video to be that long, is that the only thing I'm more worried about is legal precedent not meaning anything. So most of these folks lie in Congress saying that they believe in legal precedent. Obviously, they don't. Um, and that is where I don't want to fall into a slippery slope argument myself, which is, if legal precedent doesn't mean anything, say for Roe versus Wade, then potentially anything's on a chopping block. I don't think it would go so far as to revert back to slavery and stuff like that, although you never know. But I I don't think that's reasonable in my lifetime. Now, if I come to eat these words decades from now, I'm sorry. But in any case, yeah, I don't find that reasonable. But yeah, it's obvious that legal precedent is a farce, and that as long as you have an ideologically divided Supreme Court and one holds more power than the other, then that's how decisions are going to be made. Whether you're talking about looking at it through the scope of originalism or textualism, whatever. Um, we're going to see more things possibly getting overturned in the future with this court, because we already know the legal precedent doesn't mean anything, and that's what worries me. But I'm just a contrarian.